So welcome to the Town and Country Compounding, the podcast where we explore the cutting edge of personalized and integrative healthcare. I'm your host, Steve, the Director of Strategic Partnerships at Town and Country Compounding. Through this series, not just healthcare workers, miracle workers, we sit down with visionary healthcare providers who are redefining what it means to care for their patients. Today, we're honored to have Miguel Garcia as our guest. Miguel is the owner of Legend Weight Loss and a nurse practitioner, certified nutrition coach, and obesity specialist with over 15 years of healthcare experience. His personal journey and professional expertise have made him a powerful advocate for transformation in health and wellness. Miguel, welcome to the show. We're so excited to hear about the incredible work you're doing to empower patients on their health journeys. First, easy question. I love the name Legend because it makes me think of John Legend, the movie I Am Legend, and also the show How I Met Your Mother, which it has the catchphrase legendary. So I love Legend. How did you come up with that? That's so cool.
So basically, actually, I train a lot with a lot of guys who go to the gym all the time. And one day, one of them was like, "Oh, here comes the legend." They were talking about me. I was like, "Wait a minute, that name Legend. It's like you find yourself to be a legend." Like, so my inspiration is to make people find that legend in themselves. That's how I came out with the name of Legend.
Got it. I love it. I love it. Nice. So now into more personal, more like medical stuff. So your professional career has spanned emergency medicine, internal medicine, now obesity medicine. Can you share what led you to focus on obesity and nutrition as a specialty?
Yes, Steve. So when you work in the emergency medicine, you always get these patients all the time, but you always see them at their worst. Most of them have, cardiovascular disease, lung problems, COPD. So whenever one of the things that I found very common is that most of them are obese. And I was always thinking, if these people would have taken care of themselves before they get to this point in the emergency room, they could have changed their lives completely. So my focus was always, I wish I could do something for these people before they get to this point, especially when you're sitting in the emergency room. Most of them are very sick. They have multiple comorbidities, diabetes, or just a heart failure. And I think like if they would have done something different like years ago, they would never get into those and to that point to get to the emergency room being very, very sick.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I was a pharmacist at CVS, Rite Aid, Walgreens, and that's what I felt so terrible about is seeing a bunch of patients that are taking 10 plus medications and I'm not really helping them. Like I'm their drug dealer, except my drugs aren't even making them feel better.
Correct. Yes, you're very right about that. Yes, you're 100% right with that.
Yeah. I feel like it's almost like soul breaking to practice medicine in the traditional space because you don't even have often the tools to help the patient. And because of the insurance model, you don't have the time to help the patient.
Right. Yeah, it's very true. It's sometimes sad to see even young people in their 40s already with congestive heart failure, strokes. I don't know. I get aggravated, like even back pain, because if you're very obese, you can also get back problems. So I was like thinking, I have to do something about this. I have to help these people before they get here. In emergency medicine, it's everything rushed and you just try to stabilize the patient. But I think coming on this side, you have the time, you can encourage them, you can monitor them closely, you can follow them through, and actually you can turn their lives around.
Yeah. So you've had your own personal journey with weight loss, and how's that shaped your approach to patient care? Can you elaborate on your experiences and how it influenced your practice?
Of course. So what happened to me is like I wasn't like super big, but I was in the 180s. For my height, that's very high. It's like almost 32% BMI. So I went through a rough time in my life, like personal stuff. And I got to a point where I felt that it wasn't myself. And I was trying to do a diet, but I wasn't consistent. So I got to a point where I said, you know what, enough is enough. I need to turn my life around and help other people achieve what I can do. So that's why I take it very personal, helping people to get fit, to get healthy. Most of the time, it's really hard to do on your own. So I feel you have to find someone to kind of help you, motivate you, and kind of show you how to get there.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So who helped you?
So actually, I have a trainer. I have a trainer. I've been training with him for 3 years. And this guy is 42 years old, but he is shredded. He has abs. He's in a perfect shape. So I started training with him. I started learning about diet, exercise. And with my knowledge in the medical field, I was like, you know what? I could put all this together and kind of have a nice cocktail to help people change their life. So it's not just the medication, it's not just having my medical knowledge, but it's also having a lifestyle, changing your lifestyle. If you change your lifestyle, I believe that you can really stop diabetes, heart problems. Some things you can, but I think you will have better chances of being healthy, especially when you start to get older, 35, 40, 45. I think that's what really helped me. That's what turned my life around.
Yeah, I got it. So, and that's kind of what you do with your patients. You kind of act like their doctor, but also their personal trainer in a way as well.
Correct. Yes. Yes. Like a nutritional coach, I try to teach them what to eat, what not to eat. And also, I'm not so strict, but I tell them all the time, listen, you must have a balanced diet. If you go out with your family, with your significant other, make sure you always still enjoy food, because we all supposed to be enjoying food still. But at the same time, I teach them what not to eat, what to eat, but also motivating. And I think the most important part of what I do is like, this is a reflection of my life. Like I live by example.
Right.
If you go to see someone and they just want to give you medication, but they don't want to change your lifestyle, it's like you're not fixing the problem.
Yeah. And how many doctors do you see that I've seen personally that are in terrible shape?
Oh, yes, so many. And then not to judge doctors or other medical providers, but
Totally. It's not a judgment. It's more like a fact. And
yeah.
Unfortunately, too many healthcare professionals are burnt out. By the time they graduate, they have well over 6 figures in debt. They're overworked, overstressed, and they don't have the tools to help the patients. They have no, like we said before, they have no time. So let's talk about the balance between medical management, like the GLP-1s, semaglutide, tirzepatide, and then lifestyle coaching. So how do you balance these approaches to achieve lasting results for your patients?
So what I preach, what I tell my clients is the GLP medication is just a tool to help you stick to the diet, right? Once you start seeing results, then I incorporate some more exercise. Once they incorporate the exercise, then I incorporate staying consistent with the exercise. So and then my goal, I always tell them, listen, this is not forever. You're not gonna be in the GLP-1 forever. This is just an aid to help you achieve what you want to be, and then we can keep you in the maintenance, and then slowly taper you off, and kind of you whatever you learn through this process, apply everything you can learn, and then continue your life without medications, because we're not meant to be on medications forever. I think, and I have a lot of patients that started on a low dose, titrated up, and then they stop the medication and they continue to not gain any weight. They actually stay consistent to their workouts, to their how they eat. Even I tell them to walk a lot, which is sometimes we only think that exercise is going to the gym. No, but also people can walk in the park, do all the activities, make sure they move. That's the main goal. So I think you can incorporate everything together, and that way these changes are consistent and they can continue doing it after the medications.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, that I can relate to that. I do a lot of walking personally, and that's where I do a lot of learning, but I also take calls. So I'll take calls with clients, but I'll also listen to a lot of podcasts, and that's where I've learned like probably 95% of what I know to help clients like yourself. And I've incorporated it into my lifestyle. And I don't think a lot of people think about it, like how to incorporate it. Like even like during a lunch break, my parents, they go for a walk every single day, and they've made a conscious effort to do that. And you have to prioritize that. So Phoenix is a central symbol in your philosophy. How do you use this metaphor to inspire and guide your patients during their weight loss journeys? The Phoenix.
Yes. So actually, it's very funny how I came up with that.
Legend,
Yes,
Phoenix.
yes. So I'm gonna get a little personal, right? So I went through a divorce. Like I don't know, it's like a point where you can, yeah, where you can either go down and you go in a spiral, down spiral, and then you in the bad shape, or you go up. So for me, it was like I was rebirth. I became a new person.
That's
And in that journey is like in that journey I try to bring as many people as I can to kind of rechange, rebirth their ideas, their personality, to get confidence, to be what it's supposed to be. I know this sounds very motivational, but I think it's not just about being a healthcare provider, but it's also the mindset. It's the mindset that you start changing your mindset. And once you start changing your mindset and you believe in yourself, that's also very important. You believe in yourself, then you start seeing the changes.
right. Right. Yeah, I agree that like words and myths like legend, phoenix, and your philosophy has a huge impact. These myths like the phoenix, it's a nice visual for people to realize, especially if they come to you at the bottom, which people don't come to you at the high of their life of like, oh, I'm feeling great. They come to you like in the dumps.
Correct.
So to realize that ashes, they're those ashes, but they could fly at some point and become this like bird that's on fire, or like a man as a lion. Roar.
Yeah, like the lion I have here. Actually, I love lions.
Yeah.
I'm very inspired by lions, phoenix. I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
symbols, but I don't know, inspiring me.
Well, you do have a focus for helping men.
Yes.
Right. So I don't have that as one of my questions, but since I thought of it, what do you think men specifically are dealing with uniquely in 2024 that's different than like 1,000 years ago? What is the difficulty that men specifically are dealing with from your experience?
Well, that's a very interesting question. And I have given a lot of thought on this question. No, this is not the first time I hear it. 1,000 years ago or many years ago, we were supposed to hunt.
Yeah.
We used to supposed to we still go to wars, but it was more, you will see it more often. Now, I think with technology, let's say, want to eat, we just go on our phones and we just call Uber. But if we want to meet someone, we just go on our phone and we use Tinder or those apps. And I think that we slowly, our level of activity has been declining throughout the years. Technology has been going up. So I think whatever our parents or our grandparents parents did in their time is totally different than now. Now everything's so easy. There was no video games back then. Now they have video games, they have computer, they have Instagram. It's too many distractions. So I think that also the quality of food they eat. Many years ago, there was no fast food. Now most of the people eat
Processed. Yeah, right.
Food, yes, definitely.
Especially so men often terrible at cooking.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely different, very changed. Yeah.
Got it. So as a certified nutritional coach, you emphasize the role of diet, exercise, and preventing medical problems. So what strategies do you use to help patients actually adopt and maintain these healthier lifestyles?
Right. So what I teach them, so this is very interesting because in the beginning, I used to give them a diet plan. Most of them, they never follow it. It's very hard. They don't follow it. So I changed my strategy. Actually, I met this diabetic educator. And I was like telling her this problem. And she's like, you know what you should do? You should ask them to send you pictures of what they eat. So you can kind of tell them, eat more of that, eat less of that, do not eat that. So in my program, what I do in the first couple of weeks, I tell them to take a picture of everything they eat.
Nice. And text it to you.
And text it to me. So I have an app. I have a fitness app.
Okay.
Where I can track their steps. I can track what they eat.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I assign them tasks to do on a weekly basis. And then once a month, I check it and I'm like, listen, you're not following this, you're not doing enough steps. So it's a very comprehensive program. But in the first 2 weeks, they have to send me pictures of what they eat. And then I'm like, okay, don't eat that. Eat this, eat more of that, eat more protein, eat less bread, less rice. So it's easy for me to see what they eat. And actually, sometimes they don't even realize, oh, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to eat that. I'm like, yes. So that's why it's so important when they send me the pictures to kind of see what they're eating and how can they correct it. And then after that, they already know what to eat. They already know, okay, when I get my protein, a little bit of carbs, eggs, they eat the breakfast, the lunch, and the dinner, and 1 or 2 snacks, depending on how they're progressing. So that's how I incorporate me being a
That's
nutritional
cool.
coach. Yeah, it's so much easier in the app. They just go in the app and they take a picture, and I can see it. It comes up on my phone as an alert, and I see it, and I correct it. I give it thumbs up. I give it thumbs down. So yeah, so that's the best way.
Yeah, it's in the moment
Mhm.
feedback, good or negative. It's not like every 3 months, oh, your hemoglobin A1C is up. Eat less steak or eat
Yeah.
less sugar. Yeah. So for me personally, I like the 5 days like work week diet, and then weekends I kind of can eat whatever I want. It works for me because it's like it's sustainable and it gives me something to look forward to. What you said, when you go out with friends, family, like if my grandma makes like this really nice cake, like I'm not going to be like, no, I'm not eating it because I'm on a diet. And then during the week, in the middle of the night, stuff down like Oreos. I think that's what a lot of people do. They're like not in shape and they come to different events and they're like, I'm on a diet, I don't eat this. Meanwhile, you know what they're doing in private.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah. Yeah, that's what's very important to have balance. When you go out with your family or your friends, you
Yeah.
must enjoy it. That's the joy of life, just eating something good, piece of cake, a little ice cream.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very and
Cheat
so
with your
far,
family. Cheat with your
yes,
family.
your family.
Not by yourself.
That's right. Yes, correct.
So what common misconceptions about nutrition do you encounter and how do you address them to empower your patients? So like I think we all know like in general what is right nutrition, what is wrong. If you take a picture of something good and bad, I think people will know. But what misconceptions are there, do you think you've noticed, and how do you address them?
Most of the misconceptions start with whenever they try to eat, it looks healthy. Like let's say granola, it says it has a misconception of being healthy, but they don't know. It's part of knowledge. Also, they don't know how many grams of sugar it has.
Yep.
How many grams of carbs they have. So I think it's part of a knowledge because when they also a lot of the food companies they say, oh, this is healthy, but they don't really know what's in it.
Right.
So I think part of it, most of it is knowledge. So if they know how to look at a label, like 20 grams of sugar, and they said it's healthy, that's not good. So I think it's mostly a lot of education and also knowledge for them to know what's healthy, what's not healthy. What I always tell them, listen, whatever Mother Earth gave us is healthy.
Yeah.
But if it's processed, I will question it.
That's what I find funny about like vegan hot dogs and like all this stuff that's vegan that's made to look like regular food. If you look at the ingredients, it's like 1,000,000 grams of salt, all this processed chemicals to preserve it. Just have a regular hot dog, like not like a regular sausage or a regular steak. Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah. And also like I think a lot of the media also like they advertise so much that you don't know what to believe.
It's true. It's true. So weight management can be this emotionally charged topic. A lot of people, they have like shame associated with it, a lot of negativity. They attribute a lot of their problems to it. How do you create a safe and supportive environment for your patients to discuss these challenges? Like it's a sensitive topic.
You're right. It's very sensitive. But I think if you come from a very honest and very desire to help them, I think that kind of changes the way they look at it. Like you genuinely want to help them. That's how I come across. I try to come across.
Being genuine,
And
right? Yeah.
yeah, genuine, like just talk person. So you talk to someone, you listen. I know you have a problem and I'm trying to help you and I'm here for you. And you're not gonna change from in 2 days. It's gonna take a time. Also, you have to be very realistic. You cannot say, "Oh yeah, this is gonna help you. You're gonna be skinny." No, it's just a process. You can go from 1 to 100 like in a couple of days.
Right.
It's a process. So you have to you also gotta tell them, listen, this is what you're gonna expect. You're gonna expect to lose this amount of weight in this amount of time. You could lose more or less, but you kind of have to give in the expectations and be honest at the same time. And be sensitive. They have a problem. It's a lot of bullying and all that stuff. So you just got to be genuine. Listen, I'm trying to help you, and I'm here for you. And then yeah.
And then how do you help patients that overcome setbacks and see them as opportunities for growth? So you see a patient and they hit a wall. What do you do about it?
Right. So we reassess. we go back to step one. We reassess.
Back
What
to
are
the
you
drawing
eating?
board.
Yeah. We go back to step one. What are you eating? Let me see again. Let me send me pictures of everything you're eating. Let me see how many steps you're doing per week. And then we reassess, readjust, and then some words of encouragement. And I check on them more often.
And then I guess like a patient case that you've had that really stands out in your mind of this like golden situation that like you wish was happening with every patient. What is it? Do you have a patient in mind like that?
Yeah, actually, yeah, I do have a really close friend of mine. I posted him on my Instagram. So I know him for many years. So he was weighing 240, and he showed me his cholesterol levels. His A1C was 7.6. He's a diabetic already. His cholesterol was 245. His LDL was 160. So he started to work with me. It was 3 months. And then he goes to his doctor. And then his doctor tells him, "What did you do? Your cholesterol level is down to 80. Your A1C is 5.8. What
Wow.
did you do?" And because when he first was gonna start working with me, his doctor was against it. He's like, "Oh, just be careful. You don't know where they're getting these medications." And 3 months later, after he worked with me, all his levels just turn around. He feels amazing. He lost 30 pounds. But yeah, it's just amazing. The lab work just changed. That tells me everything. He's working out. He feels great. So he called me doctor, make me feel good. Because he was so excited, he was so happy. Changing your cholesterol level from almost 240 to almost like it's impressive.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing. I was listening to this podcast recently. They were talking about like these GLP-1s, and in the best case scenario, what they allow a provider like yourself to do is actually help the patient win their first race. Because life is a bunch of races. It's a bunch of challenges. And what traditional medicine unfortunately does, it never helps patients win their first race. So they end up just losing their entire life, literally and figuratively. So what this situation shows with that patient is you help them win their first race. And now they have the tools to keep on winning more races. That's what it sounds like.
Yes, very true. Yeah, I'm just here to help them. And I know also most of our doctors, nurse practitioners, when they're in an office setting, they see a lot of patients a day. So they don't have the time to sit
Right.
down and talk to the patient. And it's hard. It's hard for everyone, for the patient, for the providers. But that's when the people who are passionate about this come into play, kind of taking more of the time, going through their diets, exercise, their mobility, how much they walk around. So little things that in the long run they pay out for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, mainstream healthcare has failed metabolic syndrome. It's been amazing for cancer. How many cancers have reached sometimes like 99% cure rates? It's like there's so many different like infectious disease. There's amazing miracles, vaccines, amazing. But for metabolic syndrome, diabetes, cholesterol, blood pressure, obesity, it's failed. The health system has failed them.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the future of health and wellness. What emerging trends or treatments in obesity medicine and preventative care are you most excited about?
I think the GLPs have definitely changed the game. Like they have definitely, because working before, I worked in internal medicine and emergency medicine. There was no such a thing. The other treatments for obesity really do not help as much as the GLP ones. They're an amazing drug. You, I don't know. There's nothing else better than the GLP ones at this time. So I think that in the future, hopefully they get different, because I heard there are more GLP coming
Yeah.
out. So I'm really looking forward to that. Less side effects and being more effective. So definitely the future is bright. I really believe that the future is bright, the GLP ones. And hopefully also there's like a mentality shift for prevention. I think that will be the only solution for this problem.
Yeah. I think COVID, if there's anything that's good that came out of it, I think it woke us up, a lot of us, to taking care of ourselves. I think we all know someone who through COVID somehow had this miraculous weight loss, and seeing on TV and the news every day that obese people, the people with most diseases, are the ones that are dying from COVID, and seeing the ventilators and body bags, it was quite a wake-up call for a lot of people. So I think that motivation is definitely alive and well. And listen, Miguel, your dedication to patient empowerment transformation is really inspiring. I really appreciate you joining us today, sharing your insights, talking about yourself, even your personal issues, which you, like the phoenix, have risen up from the ashes. And I'm sure, like everybody, you will also at some point fall into the ashes, but you'll rise up again. And
That's right.
you're doing that and for your patients, setting a model for them. So it's an honor to have you as one of our strategic partners at Town and Country Compounding, because we work together for the patients. We do different things. We make sure that medication's high quality and the right medication, right time. And you're doing God's work. So it's amazing what you do, Miguel. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. You guys have a great. Thank you.
Yeah. Happy holidays. Happy New Year.
Oh, same to you. I'll be in Peru next week. So.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. There we go. All right. Enjoy your trip.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye, Miguel. Talk soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.